Hi everyone, it's Father Henry, your pastor. I'd like to take a few minutes reviewing some of the things that you see here at St. Jude Church, things that I use when I say Mass. You may recognize them, but today I'm going to explain what they are and how they are used. Let us begin with this area, the place where I stand and sit during Mass. This entire area is called the sanctuary. You can see that there are chairs there and the ambo where the readings are read. In the center of the sanctuary is the altar. The altar is a table, but it is a very special table. It is where the bread and wine is changed into Jesus. Only very special things can go on the altar. It is never used as an ordinary table for storing things, nor is it used for anything other than saying Mass. Covering the altar is the altar cloth. The special cloth is not used for anything else. Think of it as the tablecloth that your mom uses when she is having a special meal. On the altar, you see an altar crucifix. You know that a crucifix shows what Jesus did for us, how he sacrificed his life because he loves us. This crucifix is there for everyone to see, and I love to look at it while I am saying Mass. On either side of the altar, you see candles. Right now they are not lit, but we do light them when we say Mass. The candles represent the light that Jesus brings into the world. They are a sign of respect and holiness. Many of our church celebrations have lit candles. At the beginning of Mass, you will also see a book on the altar. This is the Roman Missal, or Sacramentary. The Holy Book contains the prayers that I say during Mass, such as the opening prayer, the prayer of the gifts, and the Eucharistic prayer. So at the beginning of Mass, the candles are lit and only the Sacramentary and the crucifix are on the altar. But that changes for the second part of the Mass, called the Liturgy of the Eucharist. I am sure that you have seen the bread and wine being brought up to me at Mass. I stand in front of the altar and receive these gifts, and then I bring them to the altar. The bread, that looks like communion, but it is not yet Jesus, is brought up in a vessel called a ciborium, and the wine is in a glass cruet. The wine is then poured into a chalice for the consecration, which is the part of the Mass when the bread and the wine are changed into Jesus' body and blood. The chalice is a word that means cup. Let us go over what I have on the altar for the Liturgy of the Eucharist. Since the Eucharist is so holy, we have a special cloth that the vessels are put on. It is called a corporal. There is another white cloth on the altar, and that is the purificator. The purificator is used to wipe the chalice and vessels after we receive the Eucharist. So that is a quick tour of what you see on the altar when I say Mass. I would like you to pay close attention at Mass. See if you can identify all of the things that I just taught you. Remember, Mass is a very holy meal, and so the vessels and cloths that we use are very special and holy. And now to continue, we have some review questions for you to answer in this remote session.